Hello, everyone. Welcome. Have you ever been listening to someone speak English and suddenly they say a phrase that, well, it just sounds a little strange? It happens all the time when you're learning. And you know what? That's completely okay. These phrases can be really confusing at first, but once you learn them, they're like secret keys that help you sound more natural when you speak. So today, we are going to learn one of the most common ones. It's a really fun one, too. It's the phrase, sounds fishy. And I promise, after our lesson today, you will start to hear it everywhere. Now, to really get what this phrase means, let's start with a little story about a funny mix-up. Let's imagine our friend, Maria. Okay, so Maria's friend comes up to her, all excited. She's talking about a brand new phone she saw for sale. And you won't believe the price. It was only $50. But Maria's friend didn't seem happy about it. She looked a little worried, actually. She shook her head and said, "Wow, only $50? That sounds fishy." Maria was so confused. Fish? She actually lifted her nose and sniffed the air. But she didn't smell any fish at all. She thought, why is she talking about fish right now? So poor Maria was confused. And maybe you are too. What on earth did her friend mean? Let's clear this up and find out what sounds fishy really means. Here it is. When something sounds fishy, it means that you think a story or a situation seems strange, or maybe it's just not true. You feel like something is dishonest or suspicious. It has absolutely nothing to do with real fish. So you might be asking, but why fish? That's a great question. It actually comes from a long time ago. Fish sellers would sometimes try to sell old fish that wasn't fresh. And old fish, well, it has a bad, fishy smell. People learned that if something smelled fishy, it wasn't good. And over time, that idea of not good or not trustworthy started being used for stories too. Okay, so now we know what it really means. Let's go back to our friend Maria and see how she uses her new knowledge. A little later that day, Maria's younger brother comes home from school. She asks to see his homework. But he gives her a very famous excuse. He says, "I can't, a dog ate my homework." Now did Maria start sniffing the air this time? No way. She knew exactly what fishy meant now. She just smiled and said, "A dog ate your homework? That sounds fishy." And there you have it. She totally gets it now. She knew her brother's story was really hard to believe. It was probably not true. She used the phrase perfectly. So you're getting it, just like Maria. Now let's look at a few more helpful tips and examples so you can feel really confident using this phrase yourself. Here are 3 great ways you could use it. Number 1, he said he won the lottery, but it sounds fishy. This means you don't really believe him. Number 2, the email asking for my password sounds fishy. This means you think it's probably a trick or a scam. And number 3, her excuse for being late sounds a little fishy. This means you doubt her reason is the real one. Want a really easy way to remember this? Just close your eyes and picture a little cartoon fish. And this fish is telling you a big, giant lie. Would you trust a lying fish? Of course not. So if a story sounds fishy, it's like a story told by a lying fish. You probably can't trust it. And you know, English has lots of ways to say things. If you want to say something similar, you could also say it smells fishy, or that the story is hard to swallow. But what if you do believe a story? Then you could say it seems legitimate, or it's on the level. Now, let's talk about a few small mistakes to avoid. First, be careful not to say smells like fishy. The correct way is just smells fishy or sounds fishy. Also, remember to use it for things you think are dishonest, not just for things that are a little strange. And finally, this is a pretty casual, informal phrase. You probably wouldn't write it in a serious report for work or school. All right, I think you're ready. What do you say we test your knowledge with a quick, fun quiz? Don't worry, it's easy. Let's see how you do. Okay, question number 1. If a story sounds fishy, it means A, it is about the ocean, B, it is probably not true, or C, it is a very good story. What do you think? The answer is B. It is probably not true. Fantastic. You're off to a great start. Okay, here's the next one. Which of these sentences uses sounds fishy in the correct way? Is it A, B, or C? Let's see. A. This cake sounds fishy and delicious.
B. He's an honest man. His story sounds fishy. Or C. She said she was sick, but she was at a party. It sounds fishy.
And the correct answer is C. Her excuse is really hard to believe, so it sounds fishy. You are doing great. See? It's not so hard. You did an amazing job with that quiz. So let's just do a quick wrap-up of everything we learned today, and then you'll be ready to use this phrase in your own conversations. So, what did we learn today? First, sounds fishy means something seems dishonest or just not true. Second, it comes from that old idea of bad-smelling fish that you can't trust. And third, you can use it anytime you have a doubt about someone's story. Simple! And now, I would love to hear from you. It's your turn. Can you think of a time when you heard a story that sounded fishy? Please share it with us in the comments below. It is wonderful practice for your English. Thank you so much for learning with me today. I had a great time. If you enjoyed today's content, please like and follow. See you next time. Bye-bye.